my pleasure to be here today to give you a couple of views. If go to the top would be great. Give you a few views on biotech. The question, or in the briefing before, was sort of communication and with professionals, and I said, well, this is Biotech Canada, you understand. So I guess the opening is, and now for something completely different. Let me tell you a little bit about biotech and where it's going, and if you can pull one or two sound bites out of here that you can use with professionals, sort of set the stage, I think it will be helpful. It's always a question for folks out there, exactly what is biotechnology, what is the impact, and how come that just magically appears that's out there. Just my advertising up front, for those of you who don't know Biotech Canada, we are a national association representing the broad spectrum of biotechnology in this country. Everything from health biotech, which you're involved in, to agricultural biotechnology, industrial biotechnology, the uses, the applications, and development. We're fully industry funded. We have over 250 companies that are part of the association helping to drive our agenda. But when you talk about biotechnology, and we ask Canadians regularly every year, we do a poll during our National Biotechnology Week, Canadians support biotech. I love it. You know, you get 9 out of 10 Canadians are strongly supportive of the research, strongly supportive of the products. Not sure they totally understand what it is, but boy, they love it. Not only do they love it, they expect to benefit. None of them think they have benefited. They've kind of forgotten about vaccines and other technologies, but they do have expectations. There are expectations out there in terms of the environment and what it is, and they see it's important. In a survey we did in January, being in the world of the economic stimulus that's going on, we thought we'd get our fair share in as well. And we asked Canadians, what do you think of the importance of biotechnology to Canada's economy and future economic prosperity? Canadians see it as very strong, as very important. They see it as more important than forestry, more important than auto, more important than banking and energy and all those other areas. So they see technology. So Canadians on average see sort of the value in that area. And they see it as a priority for stimulus. They put it in there as a very important piece. So having said that, where do they get this from? What is the expertise that we have in Canada? And so here's our first question today. So what do you think? How many health biotech companies are developing therapeutic products in Canada? If we can switch it over to the question. Oh, 41%. Well, the answer is actually number 4. We have 321 companies in this country, Canadian-owned, small SMEs or larger than just small out there, developing 348 products. Now, this was as of February, and I'll tell you, the numbers have changed in the last month, and not in a favorable way. But we do have a lot of expertise. We do have a lot of companies and a footprint in this country that is developing biotechnology, that is developing these products that there is an expectation for. When you take a look at those products that are being developed, you've got to sort of say, well, what kind of effect is that going to have in the future? And so I'll ask you the next question then. Out of the top 100 drugs that are under development, what percentage do you think is represented by biotech? Jury says, hey, you guys got that one right. It is number 4. It's 81%. An analysis that was done by, we move to the next, well, can you go back one? Go back. You're missing my slide. There was there it is. The footprint of biotechnology. This is developed by an investment bank, Lazard, out of New York, had taken a look at the analysis of the top 10. This is a year old, but if you take a look at the last 3 years, the number's been pretty consistent, so I'll go on a limb here and say it's about the same. But you see, there's a large breadth of the drugs, the top drugs in development are biotechnology. That is where the difference is coming in. What's also interesting in this slide, and if you take a look at the second bar, if it works, for those of you on that side, I'm doing the red pointer over here, but you take a look at partnered. The question is who's developing these? And partnered means, is it the company that developed it in the early stages, or is it partnered out with a large, either large biotech or large pharma? And you find at the time in 2007 that most of the products were still developed alone within their companies. And you're seeing there that the shift is that there was only a small percentage, 27%, were partnered. I think if we look at the data today, we're seeing much more of these development products are being partnered. We're seeing very much an ecosystem within biotechnology. It's not just biotech, pharma, everything else. It's all one family that comes in there. Even look at the most successful biotechnology companies in the world today. We talk about Genentech, we talk about Amgen, those top companies. There isn't a successful biotech company in the world today that didn't have a large pharma partner at some point in their development. It all does relate. So that does raise the question then, where does the money come from to develop these technologies? And so I'll ask you the loaded question in terms of what is the most important source of funding for biotech product development? Is it governments? Is it big pharma, venture, private equity?